Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with a controversial view of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Controversial View is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I discuss controversial movies. We cover various types of controversies, ranging from subject matter of the film to behind-the-scenes situations. Some are simple and some are more complex, and some are just downright fun. Of course, some of the movies we discuss are more controversial than others. For this first controversial view of December, we're highlighting Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Jason and I recently watched the entire Home Alone franchise, and we'll have multiple videos covering different films in that series throughout these next 2 weeks. We hadn't originally planned on covering Home Alone 2 for Controversial View, until we were actually watching it. That's when we were reminded of a topic that really bugs us: censorship. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, is the 1992 sequel to Home Alone, and this one was also written by John Hughes and directed by Chris Columbus. Most of the actors and actresses reprised their roles for this sequel, and Lost in New York is close to a perfect follow-up. I honestly do think it's one of the greatest sequels ever made. It follows that same successful formula of the classic original with its own twist. And all of the callbacks to that first movie are fantastic. This is not a review though, it's a C-view. A controversial view. So what is the controversy regarding this one? Well, I already told you. Censorship. We actually could have covered Home Alone 2 during our alternate cuts series. That's because the television version runs approximately 20 minutes shorter. Now, a big part of that is because Home Alone 2 has an approximate runtime of 2 hours. In order to fit commercial breaks, the movie had to be edited down a bit. But some of the footage that was cut was removed for different reasons. When Kevin first arrives in New York in the film, he visits various New York City landmarks. One of them is the World Trade Center, and there are some really great shots of the Twin Towers. There is a scene of Kevin literally on one of the roofs. After the tragic events of 9/11, these scenes were removed from the TV broadcasts of Home Alone 2. Supposedly, it was out of respect for the victims and their families. But conversely, many people actually complained. Finally, in 2018, the World Trade Center sequence was added back into the TV version, after nearly 2 decades. However, that was only on select TV stations. Others still omit those scenes to this day. We have priceless moments like that, captured on celluloid, and TV channels just discarded them. Sadly, Home Alone 2 isn't the only movie to suffer from this sort of censorship when it comes to the Twin Towers. Death by Temptation is another. This is a horror movie Jason and I reviewed during the Fangoria Challenge. On the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray release of the film, the opening shot of New York City with the Twin Towers has been replaced with a black screen. The original shot of the World Trade Center is only on the VHS and DVD releases. Along with Death by Temptation and Home Alone 2, there are other movies as well. But back to Lost in New York. This is another huge reason why physical media matters, because something like that should be preserved, and it is, on physical media. As I said, the TV version is nearly 20 minutes shorter than the theatrical cut and the version on this VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. And because this isn't an alternate cuts video, I won't go through all of the changes. But I will mention one more omitted scene. When Kevin first enters the Plaza Hotel, he interacts with none other than Donald Trump. This scene is also removed from TV broadcast versions. Not just in the US either. Also in Canada. We all know this wasn't specifically to cut the runtime. Shockingly, and I mean that sarcastically, The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice was also scraped from all streaming services. The media will censor that man any way they possibly can. It's ridiculous, especially considering he was the owner of the Plaza Hotel at the time this movie was filmed. It's a nice timestamp, but God forbid. I won't go into a diatribe about it. If you follow my channel, you're aware of my feelings. There is a bigger conversation to be had here. But I know many people are not ready or willing to have it, because it isn't bothersome to them, since it doesn't fit their agenda. Those specific moments censored in this movie are controversial to me. The irony is, I'm sure most people are now more used to watching the TV cut, since that's the version they play during this time of year. It's on and it's on often, and you may have already watched it at this point. If not, well, Jason and I have watched the uncut version of Home Alone 2. This is just my controversial view. Please be sure to check out Jason's as well. What are your thoughts on Home Alone 2, Lost in New York? Comment below and let me know. Which controversial Christmas movie will we view next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.